Have you ever been asked in an interview, tell me about a time you had to deal with a conflict at work? Or tell me about a time there were compromising priorities on the job and you had to figure out what went first. Well, those are called behavioral interview questions. They are a favorite among recruiters and hiring managers, and they are not always the easiest to answer if you haven't given it some preparation. So today I'm going to show you the right way to answer behavioral questions, how to figure out what behavioral questions they'll probably ask you, and make sure you stay till the end because I will give you my bonus tip on how to answer the secret question that is often hidden within behavioral questions. I'm Cassandra Thompson, your career consultant, and it's time to get down to business. Okay, so first off, what are behavioral questions? So behavioral questions are any of those questions, I can't say the word questions today, guys, any of those questions that start off with tell me about a time when, or describe a situation where. They often lead to more conversational interviewing, and they are a chance for an interviewer to see your thought process behind why you did what you did. Behavioral questions are really hard to answer if you haven't given it some forethought, but how do you know what behavioral questions they'll ask you? Well, you need to look at the job description. The questions they're gonna ask are most likely related to what is on that job description when you applied for the position. So hopefully you saved it. Go through the job description line by line and see what categories are listed. Does the job ask for teamwork, for managing multiple priorities, for multitasking, for communication skills? Look at each of those categories, find each of those categories, and now find a story from your past experiences that aligns with each of those. So there is a right way to answer a behavioral question, and fun fact, one time I spent 20 minutes, take a second and take that in, 20 minutes answering a behavioral question because I didn't know the right way to answer it. And I rambled and rambled trying to dig myself out of a hole to explain the situation. So don't be me, let me help you. There is a great method called the STAR method that will help you answer these questions well. STAR is an acronym and it stands for situation, task, action, result. The STAR method is awesome because it helps you stay on track so you don't ramble. Plus, it will give you clear and concise answers of the method you use and the transformation that happened from what you did. So, if somebody says, tell me about a time when, and a certain experience, you're going to give the situation and the task of where that occurrence happened, what the situation was around it, what the task was that you were given. Then you're gonna give the action you took on that. To everyone, to a lot of candidates, I should say, they think this is the meat of it. Like, oh, this is the part that matters. I took action. So if it was dealing with conflict in a group and you had a group project you were working on or working on a team in a job and somebody wasn't pulling their weight, in the action, you're gonna talk about what you did to help that person along or how you went and talked to them and figured out how you could work together, right? People think that's the most important part. You need to talk about it. Please don't forget the R, the result. This is the most important part. You want to give what happened after. So let's say it is that you had a conflict with someone and you went and talked to them and made your case and tried to make them feel heard. A lot of people will stop there and be like, and I made them feel heard. What did they say? Did they feel heard? Did they come join the team again? Did they get their part of the work done? Have you worked successfully together ever since? Let me know the result. So, and from that meeting, he and I had a great relationship from there on, and we've actually partnered on 3 more projects. That is what shows change and transformation, so you want to make sure you're showing that result. So here's another example. Let's say they ask, tell us about a time you had to make a split-second decision. You had to make a decision right in the moment. You've prepared, you saw it, it said in the job description, you must be able to make quick decisions or think on your feet, so you were ready for this question. So you're going to give the situation and the task. Sometimes these blur together. Situation task kind of goes together. So you could say, well, I was at my job at Panera. My manager had just stepped out on break and a woman came up to the counter complaining that her food was ice cold, and she brought it up to me and I saw there were even pieces of ice in it. This happened to me once. There were even pieces of ice in the salad. It was just way, way too cold. Obviously, no one could eat that. So normally, that is something my manager would take care of. If he were there, I would have to go to him and say, hey, this woman had a cold salad, can I refund her money? But since he was on break, I needed to think for myself, and I decided, you know what, I'd rather take the heat from the manager if I did the wrong thing, and they can just take the money out of my paycheck. But I apologized to the woman, I got a new order for her, made sure the salad was the right temperature, and refunded her money, and also gave her a coupon for next time because she was just so beyond upset. And so most people will stop there. So that was the situation, the task, and the action. But now you've got to give me the result. What did the manager say? Did they like what you did? What happened? So don't forget that result. And when my manager came back, I filled him in on the situation, and he said I made the right call and actually complimented me on my skills to take initiative and make sure our customer was happy. And she actually has come back multiple times since, so she seemed satisfied with the service. That's it. But if you didn't practice this beforehand, you could be rambling a good long time, giving way too much description in the story, talking way too long about how you came to what you did. So as long as you focus on that situation, task, action, result, you should be good. Okay, so bonus tip time. That one little piece of advice that will seal the deal for you on these questions. Ask for clarification. So they ask you the whole long question. Tell me about a time when you had to deal with a conflict on the job with another coworker. So you start talking, start giving the situation and the task, and then stop and say, is this along the lines of what you're looking for? They want to see that you are good with feedback and that you're making sure you're always on track with what you're doing. I have heard about this from multiple recruiters that they want you to ask this question. They want you to ask for clarification. So even at the beginning, if you're not sure if they want the question to go this way or this way, ask for clarification. Say, oh, are you looking for something related more to this area of the job or this area of the job? If it's a little ambiguous, it's okay to ask for that clarification, and it actually can really impress the person you're sitting across from. So to recap, behavioral interview questions can be quite difficult to answer if you haven't prepared ahead of time. But if you use that job description and go through line by line, you can figure out what they're going to ask you. And then you can use the STAR method to take your stories and put them into clear and concise answers. And don't forget, ask that question at the end. Is this what you were looking for? Or could I get some clarification on which direction you'd like me to go with that? And it'll show your awesome feedback skills in the process of giving great answers. And as a bonus, I have made a STAR worksheet for you so you can start practicing your answers for behavioral questions, figuring out what those stories are. To get that bonus, just click on the link in the description box below. Okay, so that is it for today. If this video was helpful for you, please subscribe so you see more videos. Hit that little thumbs up button so I know to make more videos like this, and share it with any friends who are in the middle of the interview process right now so you can help them get awesome jobs too. That is it for today, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.